Hello, viewers. I'm SB, and welcome back to Shadow Gambit, where the plot is reaching sort of a high pitch here, and it feels a little bit silly to take time in the middle of this for crew tales. But like, I don't want to leave Quentin hanging, right? Well, let's see if the Marleys found anything.
Marley, I'm back. Anything you could unfurl?
Yes, I believe so. At the stern, there's something weighing down heavily on my deck. If I was any less a being, it would have cracked it long ago.
Ah, yeah. I have an inclination of what that could be. First someone steals my curses and then releases them on deck. Who and why?
It reeks of malice and ill intent.
As far as I could tell, that's just a general smell around here.
You ought to interview those that bear this stench the most.
Pete, and the nameless one?
The heavy thing seems to lie at their feet. Unfortunately, you might have to start a conversation with them. Don't let their foolery blind you, though. They're full of trickery and deceit.
Ooh, well that's just how I like my customers.
If the whatever is at their feet, I suppose that is going to necessitate figuring out where the hell those are, huh? It's just kind of it's a bag of something. Next to the old tobacco skull.
I can smell gold already. God. Ooh. I always forget how heavy that bag of feathers is.
Quentin!
Greetings, you two.
What brings you here?
Someone used the time I was without a pearl to take cursed artifacts from my chest.
Pete? Do you think he's accusing us? Most definitely.
Well, I did just find my special bag of feathers lying in front of you, so...
Should we just tell him who actually put it here? All right. Go ahead, tell him, Pete. It was the raccoon.
The what?
He means the monkey. We don't have a raccoon here on deck, Pete. Good to know.
Estelle! Well, thanks for your cooperation, fellas.
That monkey seems like no end of trouble.
Strangely helpful they were.
I mean, same with these two, though.
For a second.
Yeah, it's a deal then.
Alright, what's going on, Cap? Or, sorry, Navigator, who's definitely not the captain.
Look, I found these nice earrings, but since I put them on, I've been stumbling around like it's my first day on deck.
Ah, my earrings of unbalance. Wait, I'll get them off you. Should I relieve you of the sword as well?
Would you like to be stabbed in the chest?
Depends. Which chest?
Not the one you're thinking. How's your search going anyway?
Well, I've talked to Pete and the nameless one.
They're involved, aren't they?
No, I don't think so. They've actually been somewhat helpful. But I have to be on my way. Let me know whenever you find something that makes you feel queasy.
Sure. Good luck, Quentin.
Overall, these are some pretty minor curses. Alright, is Estelle in the usual place? Indeed she is.
Right.
It's hard to imagine this is going to be productive.
Golden greetings to you as well, Estelle. Yes! Congratulations! You robbed me! Now kindly return my items. Returning them means giving them to me, in my hands, and not put them all over the Marley. Most importantly, where's the pen? Do you know how dangerous that bloody thing is? You want to trade me for something I technically already own? You stole it! You don't own it, Estelle!
Oh, come on, Quentin. This is just capitalism.
All right, I stole that pen too. Well, I'm sure there's some trinket I can offer you. I've got a golden banana somewhere here that, There's no prize that will make me hand my head over to a monkey. Look, what about this deck of cards that guarantees you triplets every time? And, for good measure, I'll throw in a couple of old Aztecan coins. The nice ones with the little skulls on them. The skull is not gonna happen, Estelle. Look, let's end this here before I succumb to your lunacy. Just don't, for goodness sake, put the pen anywhere stupid. I'll find something that tingles your little monkey paws.
Okay, wow.
Well, well, I've got a conundrum here. No one has any authority over that little chip. Ah, come on, Quentin. You always found a way to barter yourself out of a pickle. Just give it some time.
Someday I'll outsmart that monkey.
Never look back.
So, you've mastered my tests. I knew you all had it in you. Now, listen well. I hid the treasure on that small, forgotten island. You know the one. You've been there already. Approach the island, and the mirror will call my treasure from the ether. The rest is up to you.
That small, forgotten island. Are you thinking what I'm thinking?
Aye, the treasure lies on Morrow's reach.
Let's gather at the map table and make plans. Well, well. Looks like everyone's here.
Let's get this going, hey? Can't wait to get my roots on that treasure.
Ah, yes, the grand treasure. Our Capitan's final legacy.
There'll be gold, yeah? Oh, there must be. Oh, I can smell it already.
Hey, keep your head on your string, Quentin. Sir Reginald is getting blushy, and he's a fish.
Vulgarities aside, I'm looking forward to a riveting new chapter in my memoirs.
You can write your fiction after we've defeated Ignatia.
Aye, a recipe for a legendary encounter.
Once we arrive on Morrow's reach, the treasure will be revealed. There will be gold, but also something more. An ancient primordial soul, bound to the island long ago.
That is what Ignatia is after, and we can't let her have it. Mordecai has prepared us for what's to come. With our help, the Marley will send this thing back to the below.
I want you all on this mission. Together, we will honor the captain's last request.
And we put an end to Ignatia's madness.
Okay, sorry about the jump cut there. Had a little, I'm having some respiratory issues. I'm not feeling the absolute best today, but
Where to?
we got all this momentum. We gotta continue. I mean, there's one more island, right? This is such an obvious, oh, hey, look at that. There's a final place. We'll get there. Right now, we're doing this thing with a crew size of 8. That feels like it's going to be difficult to manage in a way that's like, oh, why would I use all 8 of them? But I guess we'll see. Thank you, loading screen. There's like, hey, listen, the big green bell we keep showing you is clearly not enough to get you to actually save the game properly. So we're going to remind you in text as well. And if you think that's going to solve the problem, you got another thing coming.
The mirror has issued its call. The captain's treasure returns to our reality.
My. Look at all that coin.
Something else has appeared at the island's heart.
The time sword. Reaper's teeth. I can sense the thing from here.
It's my favorite kind of gibberish.
It is calling to me.
Ignore it, Marley. We must deal with Ignatia first.
Ah, I have been waiting for you, ship. Come, witness the fruits of my labor. Soon, my right will force this ancient horror under my command.
She is trying to ensnare the time song.
All right, crew. We'll make Ignatia our first priority. We deal with her, and then the time sword. And then, we grab the treasure.
At your command, Navigator.
Okay, can't see how this would possibly be difficult. We sure are being given some running distance, though, huh? It seems like there's fewer guards from this side. Well, I reckon... I suppose, actually, I should sort these a little bit, because I am going to fall into old habits as far as number pressing goes. Pincus, you're, like, at the end... I don't know, for beyond 1 and like beyond 1 to 3, it really doesn't matter, I don't think. Yeah, okay, like this. And everybody gets to contribute a little bit to the bar. This says it'll be medium length, but it's very difficult to imagine needing all 8 people on a medium length mission. Stuff's gonna happen here, obviously, right? This is the part where we crouch all 8 people.
The oh-so-familiar pull of
Okay, are we all down? No.
Even in the face of inevitable defeat, you send your lost souls into the fray. Come then, strike down my soldiers. Hail pain and death upon me, if it pleases you.
Our objective is clear.
It will all be undone.
A heavy customer.
She does seem to be right about that, but even so, you know. All right.
The Marley's special skill.
Can I hide in the gold? I cannot. The gold is too dense, and I am not Scrooge McDuck. I mean, we could set up a hell of a shadow mode, right? And there's nothing really complicated about the route. We just kind of have to go through. How many of us can scale this? Actually, none of us. I thought for sure there'd be a ladder or something. But it looks like by picking this route, I've actually forced us to go through here. We could try going around the back. You know what? We'll just use this. This is fine. So that is a Udex up there. I would love to get somebody... What is this guy doing? It's just being extremely ready. Ready for everything. Do we have a bush? I would love a bush. So lady, could you... Could you help me out with this just a little bit? We're going to jam all 8 of our people in here real quick.
My soul is razor sharp.
Let's go, Sir Reginald.
Let's get a better
A new chapter in my memoir.
I kind of wish there was a command all button. It's not a thing I would use a huge amount, but it sure would be nice here. We did it. So, I gotta tell you, I would love to get Von Pressfeld up here. Failing that, I would love to get, obviously, the upgraded Teresa up there. And that's actually doable, right? If we can create enough of a distraction. No, we don't even need to create a distraction. Hold on. If I get... I guess it would just have to be Teresa. I was going to say if we could get Quentin up here, Quentin could fishing line her. But the way I would put Quentin up here really is by firing him out of the kennel, and we could just do that to Teresa directly. So I think that's where I'm at. Teresa, if you wouldn't mind stepping out in the open for a moment here.
That wasn't so bad, was it?
Okay, so we'll try something a little bit aggressive here. What about in the dark nearby? Okay, I think we can just make a run for this bush, honestly.
Bush one.
Yep, easy. Easy stealth, easy life. Ah, shoot.
Anyway.
Can't make the move from here though.
Sure, as a stop.
All right. How about over here?
Don't mind the
It looks like no, not quite. But we can creep forward and right, like I can make this work. In fact, this area back here should be totally safe. So yeah, as soon as this guy patrols away, we'll move Gael up and.
Remember the day.
Okay. That should let us put Teresa up here. I can't imagine the Udex has anyone's eyes on them.
Oh, Teresa, we have arrived. Ready to serve. I've
So?
seen it happen.
You feel it, Ship? The crush of my hammer against the fabric of destiny? Ah, the vindication. Ever since our first encounter, I have longed for it. You don't even remember it, do you? The endless battle spawned by your disrupted power. I bet Mordecai was glad to spare you the embarrassment.
So, this doesn't solve all of our problems. And obviously somebody has to touch the bolt each time. But this will give us a tremendous command of the field. Obviously the prognosticar is a major concern. We're still going to have to deal with these two, probably the old-fashioned way. But honestly, that doesn't seem that hard. Nobody's watching from over there. They're well out of the prognosticar's vision cone without the Udex to watch them.
At your service.
I think this should be very doable.
I do like this so far.
So just take the two people with the fast kills.
No cover? Easy fix.
Everybody's using her thing for cover right now. Okay. Gets a little close.
I can't even say.
Finish your task, then see a confessor.
So when... Alright.
Interesting choice.
These people are just looking back and forth. Do they... No, they never see it coming in any case. We can just run right at them. Okay, see, that's what I was worried about. That's why I thought maybe I should change the camera angle. Just gotta make sure that that's one order on each. Alright, your cone doesn't reach anywhere near far enough to catch this guy. Although yours might. Alright, well, one problem at a time. I was gonna say, maybe we just snatch this dude up too.
I prefer when you use your hands to prepare dinner, Toya.
Remedies for the dead.
Alright, just over into the shadows will be good enough. Oh, if I was smart, I would have dropped the what do you call it, the Katashiro. Because I could have snatched this guy really easily too.
There should be someone here.
Good taste.
Alright, I think this is, in fact, an opportunity to scoop these ones as well. No, that guy's just turned around.
I have just the thing. One up we go.
Okay. Everybody else is within firing range.
A fine blend of memories.
So this one is only visible to that patroller when they turn around, right?
In a moment.
It's a lady at the ready.
A shame we don't have time to grab any of this treasure.
Oh, I'm of the opinion that we make the time, preferably right now.
Focus, Quentin. All the gold in the world won't protect you against the Maiden's fire.
What's the rush anyway? We deal with this time soul, and then we fill your chest and my cannon to our dead heart's content. The treasure is tied to the time soul. We smash the thing, and all this gold might be scattered across eternity. Leaves are itching.
This is why I
Shoot.
always brought...
I thought I was going to be clear there. You know what, actually, I shouldn't have reset on that. I should have just taken that because if somebody gets caught by the prognosticar, Teresa can just delete them, right?
Oh, I'm of the opinion that we make the time, preferably right now.
When Teresa takes this shot, yeah, it'd be way too audible.
The world won't protect you against the Maiden's fire.
What's the rush anyway? We deal with this time soul, and then we fill your chest and my cannon to our dead heart's content. The treasure
All right, this might just be a two-part move.
We smash the thing, and all this gold might be scattered across eternity.
We can't have that. Start hauling.
I do
This
like
is why
so
I
far.
always brought servants to such endeavors. They could hold the foes at bay while I collected the bounty.
Sir Reginald will maybe snack a coin or two, but he'll keep them to himself when all's said and done.
You grab the gold, while I savor the challenge at hand. What a feast it will be!
Think we should be okay right here? Yeah. All right.
We may return here.
Yeah, you look further to the side than I was hoping. So...
Ready for a challenge.
I left a body over here, right?
Quelle surprise.
Let's just grab something real quick. I just need something ranged.
As you command.
Alright, can we hit the prognosticar from here? I cannot. You probably have to come around the same way that they did. Or, you know, it doesn't have to be the prognosticar. The important thing is I need 4 bodies for this plan. Obviously, we could turn off that light, but I don't, in the end, I don't think it matters too much. So,
Let's capture this moment in time.
alright, we get 2 turnarounds. I'm going for it.
Let's get moving, eh?
Oh, wait, no, not you. Shoot.
Always move forward.
I'm doing the thing.
Cut through the shadow. Our objective is clear.
How far does your vision cones heavy park get? Not that far. Okay. Gale is as close as she needs to be, I think.
Oh, I can grow lots of things.
So we're gonna move Sulady up.
Yeah, let me at him.
Well, hold on, I have to be wary of this guy's cone though.
Can you hear the waves?
All right, go and make that happen. You do this stab. You do this stab, and then the moment the prognosticar turns around and locks that thing up, we execute the shot. Easy.
Anyone hungry? Quickly.
Ugh, these are itchy. I like
Raise
long
with your
shots.
legs.
All right, may as well load up there.
Blade is
But that's pretty clean. And Teresa has her bolt back already, without us even having to think about it. I think that's pretty fantastic.
Hey!
Oh, I see.
So let's get everybody up here.
I knew this would come.
I'll hold on to what is mine.
There we go.
My tobacco is getting stale.
Like I said, it's difficult. Like we run out of my brain processing space long before we make it to a plan that involves 8 people. And once again, Gale has elected to just stand up for no reason in the middle of the plan. A thing we must always watch for, frustratingly enough. Moritz the Impenetrable. Well,
Teresa,
let's test it.
a bolt for your skull.
Turns out to be false.
Verdict is final.
And then there's no reason for us not to just run, at the very least, all the way down here, right?
It's been a while.
My soul is razor
the
sharp.
fight
This
begins.
plan's growing on me. Sure as a
The
stone.
future
Careful
calls.
negotiations.
My qualities
Another
are
shot.
needed.
Go, Pirates, go! I do love our little crew of misfits. I'm a sucker for that, that sort of like story construction device, and this is maybe nearly as good a one of those as I have ever seen. Okay, so we have to cut through here into there to banish the time soul, and I really don't have a good sense of what that actually entails. We have a Udex watching over. I should use the map zoom out view more often.
You are nothing but blind.
The Udex can see basically everything. You know what? I could shoot... Actually, I was saying that there's no approach over here, but that's not true, is there? Gale could shoot Quentin up, and then Quentin could pull everybody else. And that's a much superior approach. What am I doing? I'm screwing everything
See
up.
what's out.
All right. Everybody back over here.
Let's not
Judgment
ask for permission.
Is better than wanting.
Okay. Once everybody gets back over here, we'll... I guess maybe I shouldn't have ordered everybody in case this doesn't actually work. Whatever, it's fine. It's important to have good cardio. I think, in theory, I have a lot of respiratory issues, and as such, my cardio is perhaps less than optimal. But in theory, it sounds good. All right. So let's grab Quentin.
Long rope. And don't worry, you're dead anyway.
And does this
I was
work?
going to clean my gun.
Sure looks like it. And then it's just a question of whether people can... Yeah, cool.
What do we have here?
The wombo combo. It's not really the wombo combo in my opinion. You know, usually I think of the wombo combo as something that's a little bit more about, like, you know, harming someone.
The line is there.
That's the wombo part.
I'll take that.
To each what they deserve.
I stand ready.
Don't sell me short.
All right, Marley, it's going to be a second. I want you to just hold on, okay? And we could reverse this the same way if we needed to.
6 grams of death root, 2 drops of moonshine. You wanna hide?
Go bush up there. That seems wise. Oops. Cannot click on people to select them. And I've never really wanted to until right now.
That won't be a challenge.
It would actually be handy.
Line and sinker.
Teresa,
All right.
ready to serve.
My hair!
Pincus, what the fuck are you doing?
Smoking.
All right.
I can't hold on to my soul.
Nobody takes what's mine.
Here's what we're going to do.
Ice creature.
Remedies for the dead.
Fire longs for your cursed.
Still breathing. Still sane.
Will it yield corn? Insurer, calculate.
I'm just gonna fix that now.
I'll have to move again.
Apparently I did a left click somewhere where I shouldn't have, I guess.
The shadows of flesh.
Bizarre.
The design is maintained.
Anyway. We're back, we're good. So the Unix is up there. Because again, I think like getting Teresa up in an Overwatch position is quickly as possible is one of the best things we could be doing here.
Hey, try this fruit. Treatment's ready.
Because when she stabs him, yeah, it'll kill the light immediately.
I gotcha.
Let's drop him off right here, because that way we have a body to load. That feels pretty important. This guy's not actually in the lines. So he's too high up. People can't see him.
Need something, matey.
So we can actually just have Teresa go directly for him.
The crow flies.
Does the Unix doesn't know.
Blood will flow.
What do we have here?
You struggle? A defiance all too familiar.
Okay,
Another
easy.
True.
I didn't mean to. I should not have had her pick him up.
No mercy given.
I mean, she should probably just drop the Unix, right?
Death comes to greet you.
I think that that's fine. Honestly, I think that that's a fine outcome.
The fire longs for your cursed
Measure, calculate. The
fire will die.
Because they can't make anything of that, and then we'll have her sneak up afterward.
The maiden's judgment
Feed
awaits,
your carcass
creature.
to the fire.
Nobody's in like a risky spot over here, are they? I guess technically you should be in the bush. But that aside, we're pretty safe right now.
Each what they deserve.
Happy a
Good.
past.
We've driven them back to the balloon.
Yep, you sure showed me.
Change in
So as
position.
long as we stay low, this works.
Perhaps the scope of my ambition dwarfs your own.
Yeah, I think we can just literally just walk right up to the ladder and go get
There
my
is our
thing.
objective.
Ignatia is up ahead, Navigator. I will try to resist her command. The rest is up to you.
Ready when you are, Marley.
Remember, if I can't resist, she will force me to unleash a memory. I suggest you let me capture a fresh memory before you engage.
So, like, making triple sure that you have thought of the idea of getting a fresh
At
memory.
your service.
Why not use my power?
Now we're
Ready
getting
to
somewhere. Watch me go.
What is that?
Bush
I think I want most people right here. Once we've done that, we'll do a fresh auto save here, or a fresh quick save, and we'll try to figure out how we want to approach the next bit. It's a shame that that is a commissarius because it prevents us from drawing him out of position, but he's not really very visible.
Ah,
Let's stretch those roots.
This is probably a lady thing, right?
Let's cover this up.
But blind power.
Wait for these
Lost
patrollers
like
and then
the
just
rest
gut the
of your
dude.
cursed kind.
Got some extra pistol ammo here. And we probably want to strip as much of the surrounding area as we can before we take on Ignatia. As in particular, the prognosticar pair has to go, I'm sure.
I saw it all then.
The divine plan and the role I was meant to play. I was to be the fatesmith, the architect of past and future, the herald of salvation. I was to mold order from chaos, to pave the way for a world without suffering. The future was mine to shape. For what are memories, if not the blueprint for tomorrow? The path towards the grand design.
I'm debating about having Teresa just drop this one. It's gonna have to happen at some point here, right?
Lend strength to my hammer.
A lot of the question is whether she is needed to break someone else. Okay, I think I have a plan.
The lady at the ready.
This is awkward, actually.
Navigator, the Time Soul is whispering to me. It wants me to use its power.
I hear it too. Sweet talk and false promises. We've got no need for that, eh? What about you lot?
Nah, I'm good. I've learned from my screw up with Dread.
Good. My
I
tobacco
have finally
is
accepted
getting
who I become.
stale.
I will not revert that.
And give up this little coin I got from my old man? No, thank you.
The past is but a recipe for the present. If the cooking is done, one must savor the dish.
I like that. I like, lay out all the character growth moments.
Time is moving fast.
Oh, this acolyte might also...
To be your master. Submit to me.
What I want to do is draw this acolyte here to the bush with the spores and stab him, and I was going to distract these ones to do that.
Is a pure weapon of the design.
Actually, can the coin catch... Yeah, I can throw the coin in such a way that it catches all three of those acolytes, actually. Well, probably not all three, but the two that are facing the difficult directions.
Your will.
Yeah, let's try it. Let's see if it works.
Marley
Standing around, catching light. Ah, yes. Coming right up.
Soon. Reality.
So let's drop this here. Everybody is very, very talky on this map.
Nothing I can't afford.
What? It'll only hurt a bit. Huh. Strange soul pattern.
Okay. And then the bush will get rid of the corpse.
Grotesque
And that's
abomination.
one more annoying pair of eyes out of the way.
Without hands to give it shape.
So obviously this is our next biggest problem. I don't know what the kindred will do
Yes. It is
if
plain to
spored.
see. You are nothing but blind power. Lost like the
Will
rest
the
of your
acolyte come with her? Because if so, that complicates things. If not, we might be able to have Silady solve this half while we sort of do the other thing in a big burst of complicated violence.
against you. Even the darkest
I have just the thing.
cannot escape the design.
Doesn't mean I have to get over there, though.
Their role is a different one.
Working on it.
Hear my call. I am the arbiter of your will. Guide me through this.
Let's send you away.
Where will my feet take me?
Interesting. The acolyte does not follow.
You struggle.
I must
Defiance
Oh, the acolyte follows eventually. Like
The
once
ship
they get to the end of
truly is your
the move.
offspring.
Interesting. Well, honestly, this area over here being mostly
Lend
acolytes
strength to my hammer.
is something we might be able to solve with like just Silady. Let me try some stuff here. Now, obviously, there is some danger with the prognosticar.
Toil and madness, the pain
It'll
of
grow
a
real
thousand
fast.
deaths. Worth it.
Souls from the air.
Let me remind you.
Where's the end of the Eudex's cone?
Ah,
Okay, so there really aren't... I had to get all the way over here. Yeah, there aren't very many places that are not in the overlap.
Oh, this is fascinating.
But this is very doable.
How vile it felt back then. To sully my soul with your influence. If it hadn't been our only means of escape, I'd never have agreed. I knew I must redeem myself in...
She is so chatty.
My tainted soul towards good.
Me this way.
I was definitely in the little area of the vision cone that was lined there. That's annoying.
My tainted soul towards good.
Treatment's ready.
I was driven by the sole purpose of your extinction, for I alone had the means.
Yeah, she's gonna be able to solve this whole thing very
before. And I received a singular vision.
excuse me, very easily.
You never cease to amaze, Marley.
Oof. My advice to you is that if you have pre-existing respiratory damage, just do not get the COVID. It's bad for your stuff.
Too many weeds here.
Oh, he turned. Why did he turn?
Burn the cursed wretch!
This plant's growing on me. Spot. I have to grow that back.
Okay.
Cover seeds. Coming right up.
So draw a separate bush to hide in over here.
Let us see. I can smell your rotting flesh.
Oh, I like that.
This might actually work.
Maiden's judgment awaits, creature.
A little bit further in a different bush, because they have to do this I'm about to enter routine right before they walk into a bush every single time. And it grants them vision of the things in the bush when they do it, but only within that one contiguous set of like bushes. Like, you know, when you mouse over a thing, what appears in one white outline. So they would have had to have done it a second time to go into a separate bush. And on top of that, I don't think they even did. I think we got away with that really cleanly.
All right, easy fix. This one's brand new. Get over here, matey.
Struggle
this way.
A defiance all too familiar.
Oh, please hurry, please hurry, please hurry.
Is your offspring.
Watch me go.
Let me return to my post.
No, you coward. All right.
Gracious maiden.
I'm going to turn off. I'm going to snuff out the light here
Bend reality
after the kindred walks away. And that'll bring this acolyte over. Actually, maybe I won't. Never mind. I can't do that. Interesting.
all the toil.
3 little cuts.
The pain of a
Working on it.
deaths.
Let me see your soul.
In that case, we'll just climb up here and do this directly.
So tired.
Food for the vines.
Okay, that makes things a lot safer.
To lure me with promises of a happier path.
Oh, this is fascinating. I'll trim their numbers. Strange soul passion.
Okay, cool.
Let me at it.
Now, obviously, it would be nice to bring out the to bring down the kindred as well, and we may still be able to.
Incoming.
I think if we do it, we're going to do it from like over here.
Interesting choice, Mark.
So what I need to do is just grab either of them and pull them
This will
away after they have turned back and started walking toward the middle.
This hammer is a pure.
And I'd prefer to get the acolyte, actually.
My skin still bears the scars of its making.
I have just the thing.
Shoot.
Your will.
I know right where to cut.
Perfect.
One less to worry about.
Okay, so now we can definitely drop that kindred when we want to.
Have you ever considered what it's like?
Teresa doesn't have a shot on that prognosticar,
What
right?
a grotesque abomination.
Actually, she kind of
like
does.
nature left to fester without hands to give it shape.
Yeah, that is a clean hit. Okay, that's really interesting.
Iron judgments.
But the area of the shot is so large.
You are nothing.
The area of
but
the sound
blind
created by the
power.
shot, I mean.
Lost like the rest of your cursed kind.
Oh, the kindred does walk all the way out of it.
My memories are stirring.
How
Very
easily
briefly,
your
though.
Nature's used against you.
Okay.
Even the darkest
I have a plan.
power
I know what my
cannot
plan
escape the
is.
design.
Ah, let's stretch those roots.
We're gonna have to wait here, obviously.
Hear my call. I am the arbiter.
Watch me go.
of your will.
Okay, we're gonna sneak in through this little dark area here. Get pretty close. And then I'm gonna toss spores at the prognosticar and shoot her immediately
You
after.
struggle. A defiance all too familiar.
Ready to serve.
The ship truly is your offspring.
Dicho y hecho.
Yeah, I think this'll work.
Gracious maiden.
I can help if you let me.
Strength to my hand.
Oh, actually,
Let it bend.
I was about to. I was gonna do this when the kindred was facing inward toward the middle, but I just realized if that's the case, this kindred can probably see. Yeah. Okay, so we have to do it on the way out instead.
So close.
That makes me a little bit more nervous as to whether we're gonna have time to hide the body.
Pain
But
of 1,000
No mercy
deaths.
given.
Worth it at last.
do we get? Boy, you really can't lock in that shot very easily.
You try to
Okay.
My power grows.
of a happier past.
Need some
How quaint.
Bloodlust gives you away, creature.
Here we go.
The prognosticar.
I've seen it. I am your
Remedies for
executioner.
the dead.
You wanna hide, yeah?
Damn it.
My other. Look.
All right. Well, I will go all the way over here. At the very least, we've put down a bush on top of the bolt, so I can hand it back easily.
I shall witness your it is almost. Show yourself, so I may correct your vile existence. I will find you a vomit.
I do not think it is worth trying to make anything happen here. This calls for patience.
Mensura, calcula, rectifica.
Two prognosticars running around like that is just too dangerous.
Oh, this is fascinating.
This hammer is a pure weapon of the design.
Okay, there we go.
Still bears the scars
Handy.
of its making.
One day.
So now, anytime that we have a clean shot on this one,
Your will.
we can just stab the other one or whatever.
I
It could go the other way too, because there's going to be a lot of opportunity for Slady to just stab this kindred, I guess.
As well.
Wrong to us.
Perhaps you need rest.
Are they going to split again? Or okay, I was wondering if we'd broken this one in position.
What a grotesque abomination. Like nature.
All right, let's figure out how we want to kill all these people.
Hey! You are nothing but blind power.
I am going to try to do
Lost
a like
the
a
rest
big
of your
fancy,
cursed kind.
what do you call it?
I carry this burden.
Like a big fancy shadow mode here. Is that in the right spot to catch just... I mean, I guess it doesn't matter which one it catches.
The design.
Yeah, because we could just have Teresa shoot this one instead, right?
Oui.
Provided.
I stand ready.
Yeah, shooting him is going to make a noise that the other one will hear, so that's a thing we do have to care about.
I am the
But it's a thing we can have a plan for.
guide me.
We can also just draw them off since they're just acolytes.
I can smell gold already.
Yeah, maybe that's the play.
You struggle? A defiance all too familiar. The ship truly is your offspring.
Will not matter in the end.
But he won't see a thing that's in the lined part of his cone.
I will draw them.
So I need to throw it like
Gracious
here.
maiden, lend strength.
That's gonna make it a lot
Let
more
it bend
difficult
reality to your
to.
demands.
Well,
Where
alright.
the wind
We can
blows,
make this a
the
multi-part
boats
distraction, right?
I've heard enough of this.
So close. All the toil and madness. The
Try
pain
this.
of
All right, we're gonna draw him forward with the golden skull, Then we're going to distract him with a noise thing.
What? Finders
The
keepers.
court is in
Right.
session. Where do I put this?
You try to lure me.
I can resist the noise.
Happier past. How quaint.
Tell me you can't see that.
Commence the right of inquiry. And so...
That's weird. One of them went home, but it sure isn't acting like that person went home. Alright, Toya, just run out and stab that dude.
A good starter.
Is that? The cursed archer.
Okay,
Burn the cursed wretch.
that almost worked.
Enjoy your final respite in the green.
I guess just like the lot of you try to just walk out of there, because that might work, honestly. Well, there's no way to issue an order to move stealthily. It seems like those were all single clicks.
Another moment in time. Worth it at last.
Okay, yeah, this person can see all the way over there. That's really annoying. You know what else they can do?
Let's stretch those
Try
roots.
to lure me with promises of a
With
happy
kind
past.
regards.
Everyone will hear that.
Never look back. I'll be there soon.
Your whispers lack imagination. Perhaps the scope of my ambition dwarfs your own.
Okay, only 2 of the guards would hear this, but like, I want to remove that guy as part of dealing with all these guards.
I was forged and
How about the kennel?
waves under my feet. Submit
Okay,
to
so it's
me.
gonna have to be the kennel. We're gonna have to just kill everybody all at once. That's the only thing that's really left to us.
This hammer is a pure weapons design.
Let me try.
The scars of its making.
When we grab just this acolyte's attention visually, his partner did turn around, so we wouldn't be able to do anything that relied on either of them being alone, because they'll turn and watch each other.
What a grotesque nature left to fester
All
without
right.
hands to
It's fine. We're just gonna figure out how to do this in place.
Yes.
I wonder.
The death
Plain to
call.
see. You are nothing
Nothing changed here.
Oh, I wonder.
lost
Okay,
like the rest of your cursed kind.
let me crawl up here.
I'm coming, Sir Reginald. Glad.
Used against you. Even the darkest
Okay, I can't target this one, despite the fact that we are at the same height. So I guess they must just be out of. Yeah, we can see a little bit of the circle. Yeah, it would end like here.
Maiden, hear my
All right, that's fine. His part of the job will involve he'll be on the ground.
well now through this final task.
To be one with the sea.
Okay, so we have to kill 6 people all at once.
Each serve the design in our own way.
You struggle. A defiance
All at
too
once-ish.
familiar. The ship truly is your
On this side and 7 on 7th over there. This is very doable. This is very doable, and it'll be nice to use a large portion of the resources we have available here. Is anybody like really left behind?
Opportunity
Let it
cards.
bend reality to your demands.
Through me.
No, we have everybody in position to participate somehow. So,
So close.
Toya has to jump in on one of these guys. John has to jump in on one of these
Pain of
guys.
1,000 deaths. Worth it at last.
We can use the kennel to bring down
I'll be cautious,
this one.
but it's still going to hurt.
Ah, you try to lure me with
Don't be out of the bush.
promises of a happier past.
Yeah, we can use the kennel to bring down this one. So then we need just one more person to kill one of these acolytes.
Your whispers
And then we have to kill
lack
these 2 still.
imagination.
This could be like,
Perhaps the scope of
this
my
could be Teresa
ambition
and
dwarfs your own.
Blink Strike from Afia. Let's actually start building it.
A little souvenir.
What do we have here?
So it's like,
A sword through the heart.
yeah, that's easy enough. You can hit anyone but I guess this is fine. It's going to be very graceless on this side, where she's just going to stab. And then it's going to be like John grabs this one. So we have 2 left over here. One of these people is the Katashiro. And that leaves just Quentin and Pincus with no job. And I mean, if we're gonna just have somebody run at the last guy, then I suppose it's Pincus, right? And I want him on that side to grab that one. So we change John's target to this one. I think that's the plan. And then we just
This one is special.
let them walk into the positions. The only thing that really has to happen here is these people reaching the end of their patrol.
This hammer is a pure weapon of the design.
With taste. My strength returns.
Let's make sure this person's actually dead.
The heart is
Standing around, catching
Okay.
light.
Under my blows.
There we go.
I can feel it.
So one by one, let's return people to cover.
As well.
preparation is key.
I think we can mostly run down like this.
Itching.
I'll step on a shell or
I stand against the tempest.
You should probably grab somebody.
Teresa, para servirle.
I don't know that I want to move you.
For treasure. It's a deal then.
And
Yes.
Pincus has a body we
plain
can,
to see.
a disposable body
You
we can
are
use for
nothing
shenanigans.
but blind power, lost like the rest.
I
of
might
your
want to move
cursed
Teresa up
kind.
to somewhere over here because I don't think she'll have a shot on the prognosticars. You know, I think this might count right here. Because it's like clearly the crosshair's not on that guy, but he's lit up and his name is present, so I think she does. She also has a shot on Ignatia, which is going to be, I'm sure, much more complicated than it looks.
My call.
And actually,
I am the arbiter.
speaking of much more complicated than it looks, I think that this is what we're going to call it actually for today. That's going to be it for us for now. Thank you all so much for watching, because I think when we go for this, it's going to turn into a whole situation. So thank you all so much. I think I said that already. This mission has been good fun so far. I really do like actually getting to bring everybody to bear on the problem at the same time. When you come back next time, we'll see whether I'm just being paranoid or whether we will, in fact, need to bring everybody to bear on the problem. And we'll see you then.